Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We're going to start this party off right with some Kaitlyn Bristowe and Zach Clark rumor mill to get to. I think the rumors are all over. It's a full-blown relationship, if you ask me. Now, as for my studio, I am now in Tennessee. I've got a lot of construction in progress. The lighting isn't set up. The backdrop isn't set up. But I am here crystal clear with you guys to get into all of this content. Do me a solid, follow me on Instagram, and also don't forget patreon.com/Dave Neal for behind-the-scenes bonus content. I'll be live this morning, I believe, around, what time is it right now? I have no idea now that I'm in Central Time Zone. Give it a couple hours. I think I'll be live at noon East Coast time, which would be 9 a.m. Pacific. Do I have that right? All right, you can go check me in over there, and I'll give all of your updates, including the afternoon rush hour. Tonight is the new season of The Bachelor. I was fully expecting to have the pre and post game live stream. I still think I'm going to do that, but my internet's down here, so I'm running my whole website, my whole service off of this mobile hotspot. The internet, I think, won't be here till Thursday, so I'm going to be doing my best to give you as much coverage as possible, and I appreciate everyone sticking around while we figure out all of the kinks. And speaking of kinks, a kinky little dinner here. Now, there's nothing kinky about this. It's just a man from Philly and a Canadian woman, which, by the way, pretty good combo if you ask me. Spotted Caitlyn Zach out in New York City last night. Was having a girls' night in the West Village when one of my friends spotted Caitlyn and Zach at a corner table at the restaurant we were at. They definitely saw us looking and glared at us a little. LOL. Super cozy, cuddly, and started sitting on the same side of the booth at one point. Also taking a ton of self-timers. All right, so they're taking their photos. There they are. You always look angry when you're eating, you know what I mean? Folks are going to notice, she drinks, he doesn't. Who cares? Some people eat carbs, some people don't. She doesn't drink alcohol. She drinks alcohol, he doesn't. You know, some people can indulge in a good glass of wine, and some people have more addictive personality types. Who are we to judge, right? So either way, there they are. There Zach is. He's moved right next to her. Wow. And of course, hard to get a nice line of sight. I mean, what did they took a photo of their wine glass. You know, she's like, I'm going to pretend like I'm taking a photo of my sangria, which is perfectly positioned in front of Zach Clark. No, that's not how it works. You're a creep. But hey, we're here for it. And then, of course, we've got a video. This is posted by BachelorNation.scoop here of them apparently doing a little salsa. Is this a salsa club? I'm not sure, but let them do their thing. Of course, folks in the foreground. Boy, this is a real Zoom job effort. She's got the diner floor colored sweater on, and he's, what are they? I don't know what these dance moves are, but it ends with a hug. So maybe he's showing her his favorite move. Maybe she appreciates the fact that he's not that charming or slick. I mean, Zach Clark and Jason Tartick geographically have a lot in common. He's Philly, Zach's Philly, or maybe Delaware, wherever he is. He's from that area. It's all the same, right? And, blue collar kind of vibes. And maybe that's what Caitlyn wants. I don't know. Not to say that anything was wrong with Zach, but I got to say, there's nothing funnier than the comments being like, oh, the Bachelorette says it here. Caitlyn's type is guys who've been on The Bachelorette. Okay, what is this? The third guy in 5-6 years? You know what I mean? It's not like she's running through them 1 month at a time like some folks. And even if they were, who cares? Whatever. Either way, what's the next photo here? Oh, here we have Jason Tartick. Just saw Jason Tartick from The Bachelorette at Trademark Bar and Kitchen with a random girl. He had a weekender bag with him in New York City. And apparently this is not. I think this is Luke from Summer House with Tayshia. So this is Luke on the left and Tayshia on the right. So we've got multiple sightings. And again, does any of this matter? No, none of this matters. None of this matters at all, but we're here nonetheless. So that's Tayshia on the right in her very nice, winter chic. Oh, how do you love New York now? It's 0 degrees. Very fascinating, though. Tayshia from California, Jason from upstate New York, Zach from Philly, Caitlyn from Canada. Where do they all end up? New York City, baby, the greatest city in the world. So the person who said they saw Jason Tartick from The Bachelorette with a random girl in a weekender bag, that's interesting. Now, could it be his publicist, his podcast producer, his cousin? It could be a whole number of people, but either way, still nice to think about. Now, is it the appropriate time for Jason to be moving on? Why would we care? Well, I'm sure people are asking the same thing about Kaitlyn. So Kaitlyn and Jason broke up about 5 to 6 months ago. It's the absolute perfect time for them to move on. Now, you might say, Dave, is Kaitlyn going to be mad that everybody's talking about this? I don't think so, because this was sort of the soft launch. Like, they knew what they were doing. It's my belief that they knew what they were doing on New Year's Eve when they shared this photo with her around his neck. You know why? Because this photo isn't, in my eyes, it's not aggressive. It's not them rubbing it in people's faces. It's like, oops, here we were living our life. It's a way to sort of show that you're moving on without being open and obvious about it, which might sound silly, but it's a pretty good PR move. Kaitlyn even responded 2 weeks ago saying, "Hi, here to say that there was never an ounce of cheating happening, and I will not stand for this rumor. Y'all are nasty in here. Anywho, swear on my dog's lives, no cheating went on, so we can just put that to rest. Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone. Go donate some blood or something." Which, again, you always wish people wouldn't have to leave these comments, but it does, if you don't put out the fire like that, people, and again, no rumors of cheating from either camp. If there were cheating, I would think by now, Jason Tartick would probably get that rumor out in one way or another. I know Bachelor creators that are friends with Jason that are sort of reporting or sharing this in a different light than those that I know that are friends with Kaitlyn. That's how it works with friend groups, with content creators, with people. You get to know different sides of the story, but no sides of those stories have anything to do with infidelity. It could have just been that, and the Kaitlyn-Jason relationship could have been dead as a doornail 6 months ago, for all we know. Wedding, planning stalls out, and then they just don't get back on that wagon to keep planning. They're like, what are we doing here? And I think even though Jason might have been the one who got dumped, there's a scenario where you look and you say, well, even though Jason might have been the one that got dumped, you basically have Kaitlyn here who's, probably, able to see that sooner. She's been in this game longer. She's dated around. She's had the stalled things. So she's like, you know what? This has had many chances. It's time for us to move on, which is too bad. I don't think I would ever be that type. It's got you got to have some sort of balls to be that type to just throw it all away. Again, boy, we're thrown out here with the Rachel Lindsay and Brian Abasolo. Is that what happened there? Now, they of course were married, but the sort of thing that Brian claimed was that he was looking more for a family. And again, we don't know. But I did want to share with you one clip from Joey, who will be on tonight's episode, of course, the premiere episode of The Bachelor. Here's a clip of Joey hyping his season up. Have a listen.
How do you feel about that label on your season that was like, it's ended like we've never had it?
I can tell you this. I haven't watched a ton of the show, but from what I know, what the ending is, I don't think it has happened before. So it's not a, it's a true poll.
We're locked in. We're locked in already.
It's a true poll.
It's an automatic lock-in though when they say it. It's like, I never happened before. Okay, show me a twist.
Palmer,
at least we didn't have like the most dramatic season yet. Like it's a different thing.
Right.
It's a little bit.
Most
pulls
dramatic.
you in a
Maybe
different
it's
way.
not the most dramatic, but something we've never seen.
He actually
before.
quoted, I think, the most romantic season yet, which I was like, ooh,
oh,
that's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that label on your season?
All right, so there it was,
that
folks.
like,
so there it was. Sorry for the replay here. A little technical issue, but we're working through it, folks. Okay, so you guys excited for Joey's season? I'll tell you what, it's interesting, right? Joey became besties with Jason Tartick when Jason Tartick was still on the when Jason Tartick was still on the in a relationship, and Jason Tartick was kind of, what seems like he was kind of like Joey's mentor, and then now Joey's the one who may be in a happy relationship. We don't know how it all plays out, and now Jason gets to sort of play that single life. I have to say, even though Jason was single before he went on The Bachelor and had like Bachelor money, he had finance money. I got to tell you, there's absolutely nothing like, Jason having what in my accounts is from his podcast. He's making $1 million a year. You know what I mean? He's super lucrative. He's got a hit podcast that keeps on climbing. He just wrote his second book. He'll probably write another one after the after the ending of his relationship with Caitlyn. I mean, he's in a good spot to be single in New York. We'll have to see if he canoodles with anyone from Bachelor Nation or if he dabbles outside those seas. My guess is he would dabble outside those seas, and maybe Caitlyn will as well. This doesn't mean that they are official, of course, but you'd have to think if they were willing to be spotted very publicly in New York City. I mean, they're not in a dark, there's plenty of dark restaurants in New York City where you can hide in the back corner. They chose not to do that. They're soft launching. They're introducing the new stepdad to the kids, the dog. This is how it works. This is how it goes down. I'd love to know your thoughts. I've got more content coming your way. Join me 1 p.m. East Coast time. I will be live on Patreon. That's 12 p.m. Central time and 10 a.m. West Coast time. I'm trying to keep to the same schedules. Okay, we got that figured out. I'll be back with more content right after this.